Say what you gotta say the first time, not the next time. Yo, what's up, To Be Frank fam? It's your boy Corey J. We're ready to get you geared in with a great episode for tonight, today, whatever time you're watching it. I'm really excited about tonight's guest. Is a very special guest. Some know him as one name, some know him as another name. I'm blessed to know him as both. He is truly a pillar in the entertainment industry right now. He's just a great guy overall. Very it's showing a lot of humanity left and right. Whether you're hearing him talking in French, you talking to him in English, you're gonna hear him talking, and he's guaranteed to make you laugh. So, without further ado, I want to bring on tonight's guest, the man himself. Y'all ready for him? Y'all don't know. Y'all not showing me y'all ready for him, but y'all gonna be ready for him. None other than Shawn Bernard, better known as Uncle Luck. Y'all show him some
Uncle,
love,
look,
y'all. Show him some
well, I
love.
be damned. Well, I be damned. They got me here. Well, I be damned. I'm here on the show. I'm on the show. I'm here.
What's up, fam? What is popping? What is
Man,
popping?
listen, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to be on this podcast with you, man. So I'm excited on what's to come. And the questions you're gonna hit me with, you say raw. Okay, I'm gonna give it raw, god damn it. All right.
So, giving y'all a little background on how Sean and I know each other. Sean and I, oh gosh, this history is way past 20 years, way past back in
Man, yeah.
college days. And I remember the days where I would catch Sean playing on the piano, playing on them keys, and then singing on the slick and just being a funny man altogether. As the years have
Yeah.
gone, we're adults. We're done got grown up. We're doing grown up things, and one of the key things that I see Sean doing right now is impacting the community through making them laugh. You know, his
Yeah.
special character that he has, Uncle Luck, is doing major things. So it's one thing to know Sean, and there's another thing to know Uncle Luck, but it's a blessing to know both of them. So
To
tonight's
know both of them.
episode is me versus me, and we're gonna really get into a real good discussion with the man himself. So first things first, Sean, I want you to just give everybody just a brief background of yourself. Some stuff that they may not know, or they know, or just you. That's all I need,
Okay.
frankly speaking.
Little me. So, man, the government name is Shawn Bernard. People know me for that.
Okay.
Uh, Back in story, went to UL, not USL. I
Okay.
was one of the transitions from
Okay.
USL,
Okay.
so
You had to
UL.
throw that in. I
Man,
got you.
and yeah, I
I
had to throw
got
that
you.
in UL, man, and just humble guy. Grew up in Macomb. Grew up in the hood.
Hmm.
Grew up pretty much like most of the guys and people in my surroundings. We had it kind of tough. We didn't have the finer things in life. We didn't have the silver spoon. We rode the city bus. We cut grass on the side for extra money, to kind of help out, get the things that we wanted to get because our parents couldn't afford to get the Jordans or the high dollar things, the Jabos. So, we was at Payless,
Come on
getting
now.
all what we
Shout out
can
to
get,
Payless. Them shoes
Shout out to
would be
Payless. We
hitting
had
though,
that,
boy. Them shoes would be hitting on
man,
the stick.
the ones that pump up, we had the little pump ups. So look, you couldn't tell us nothing. Them XJ 900s, but humble beginnings is what I came from. JW Falk, NP Moss, Northside. That's the roots.
That's what's up. So, Sean, first things first, on behalf of the To Be Frank family, we definitely thank you for not only being on our broadcast, but most importantly, for the love that you've been showing us. Like, I remember when you messaged me, I was like, wait a minute, what? Is he playing? Is this Uncle Luck messaging me or is Sean messaging me? And it took me a couple of days. I was like, okay, wait, which one it is? I'm like, you know what? I know both, so I know, but I'm truly humbled. I really am. We go way back. So thank
And
you,
listen, I
thank you,
want you to
thank
know,
you.
Corey, listen, man, don't ever feel like I don't want nobody who was there in those beginnings to feel that, oh, well, Uncle Luck is untouchable or Uncle Luck is on a different level now. Because, you've been doing the calendars, you've been doing so much past 20 years. So anything that I can be a part of, I want to be a part of it, because what you do is great for the community. So anything I can do to promote that, man, don't ever feel that, oh, well. Because some people think, oh, well, he Hollywood now, or
Yeah.
he's gonna charge me a crazy price.
Yeah.
Man, y'all was in the beginning. Y'all helped build this person that I am just
Right.
through other things, through relationships. So I don't, whatever I could do, I'm there.
I appreciate that. I really, really
Oh
do.
yeah.
Thank you for that. So let's get into tonight's topic. So first thing that I want to talk about is when it comes to Shawn versus Uncle Luck, which one you feel gets more love? That's a hard one, but which one you feel gets more love, Shawn or Uncle Luck?
More love versus more attention. So I say, when it comes to love, I think the Shawn Bernard gets more love
Mm-hmm.
because people get a chance to really know who I am personally on the inside. The Uncle Luck gets more attention. And
Right.
with attention, sometimes people just get it for what it is, for the hype, but they really don't have your best interest, but they want to ride the wave or they want to just kind of mix and mingle with you because of the brand.
Gotcha. So if you was to do a parody right now with Shawn and Uncle Luck in that one episode, what would happen in that particular episode?
Man, it's so crazy though. It'd be tough. It'd be tough, man, because
Yeah.
even though sometimes they separate, they're the same because I'll be with clients as Shawn Bernard, but Uncle Luck just come out. Like when I'm talking and I get excited and I'm around them and we start relating to things, Uncle Luck just comes out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to code switch because I am Uncle Luck. It's
Right.
just in me, and sometimes I'm doing it without even trying. Like it's nothing, it just come out. So I be struggling to be professional. I be trying to pronunciate my words correctly. The roof instead of that roof right there. I be trying. I be trying. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's sometimes difficult, man, to shut it off.
I feel you. I feel you because I try to camouflage every once in a while, not to make my accent come out, and it just come out. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Just take it. Just. I'm from
And you know
Louisiana.
what I realized? I realized people are okay with that.
Yeah, they are.
Sometimes in business, we get so professional to where we forget to be who you are. And a lot of times nowadays, people want that real. They want the real. I've
Right.
been in the all field. So I've been in professional environments where they cuss.
Yeah.
I'm in corporate meetings where I'm hearing the F.
Cuss,
I'm like,
cuss.
"Choo, come on now, cuss." So
Okay.
a lot of times people want the real. Like they want that, so you give it to them.
Cuss, cuss. They really will. They go ham. They really go ham.
Ball. Poof.
So, Sean, I want to touch on your impact that you have with the youth right now. I've been seeing you at different, no, not just the youth. Let's talk about you, your impact with the youth and the elderly as Uncle Luck, making people laugh. What, aside from making youth and elderly, which you make everybody laugh, but just a focus on them, what pulls your heartstrings the most? Dealing with the youth or dealing with the elderly?
The elderly.
Okay.
The elderly is what I gravitate to the most because they can relate to the things I talk about. They can relate
Hmm.
to the old fashioned ways, the washing clothes by hand, the cornbread, the kush kush, the
Hmm.
bologna. They can relate to a lot of things that I talk about. And the way I talk about it, the Frenchie, the way I kind of tie it all in, oh baby, that make me remember from back in the day. Oh, you
Right.
remind me of my poor mama, my poor daddy, and stuff like that. So it's just relatable to that generation, which is
Definitely.
why it's so inspiring. It'd be crazy because Court, sometimes I go to a nursing home that's just white,
Yeah.
and I'm not making it a racial thing, but it's
Right.
just white. And when you walk in and they looking at you like, okay, some of them playing bingo, some of them doing whatnot, whatever, and they
Hmm.
quiet, and they say, okay, hey, we have a speaker come and speak to you guys, or an entertainer, and they just kind of look like, oh, okay. And then when I come in there, bonjour, how y'all doing? And yeah, they start lighting up like, oh, c'est bon, and
You
start hitting them
speaking.
with that.
Yeah.
And bro, the glow they just wake up. It's like the ones that be hunched down, just like the ones that you think just ain't there.
Right.
You start hitting them with some of that French man, and like start talking to them and walking to them. Hey, baby, how you doing, Shaq? And they up looking like wow. It just
Right.
it gives them some type of power. So that be man the biggest motivation right there to see the ones that never smile, feel like they ain't gonna be here tomorrow,
Yeah.
make them glow and want to get a picture. The people in nursing home be like, wow, you just made her laugh.
Okay.
She been here 6 months, ain't even crack
They
a
never
smile.
saw that before. Right.
We never saw that before.
Man,
You know.
that's big. That's really really big. So
Y-
aside from that, what makes you laugh? As a comedian, oftentimes people don't ever really want to know what really makes the comedian laugh. You always make everybody else laugh. So what makes you laugh? When I want you to
Man,
just stop for a minute and think about a time where you really was like hard down laughing hysterically. Think about
you
that.
know what makes me laugh the most is when I'm either with my wife
Okay.
or like with K Chill or with somebody that know me, and I see something or I see somebody do something crazy, and before I could even respond, they're like, "Shut up! Don't shut up! Don't even say nothing." I know you're about to, and I just bust out laughing because it's catching people doing stuff that they don't think nobody see.
Right, right.
Like they be kind of like, when somebody be walking and they got a Melvin and they be trying to dig it, they be trying to dig in there.
You're
Especially in the
you
grocery
trying to be
store. They
slick. I
push
want
it.
you to see
Look, they got that little twist walk where they try to twist to try to get it out. Trying to get it out, or they,
them
or they
drawers too
dig,
small.
or they
That's what
dig
that
it.
is. Them drawers too small.
That's all. They'd be all
Stop
stuck in
wearing
there,
them
and they'd be
sleeves. You know that's old. You should have threw that a long time ago. Why you still got that? Come on now, let that go. Woo.
you get them nasty one that go dig in there. They go like they go slam, and I be goddamn. I know they didn't just see it. They just be looking back because I call it out.
You need a
But
look. Go
it'd be
wash
that.
your hands. Go wash your hands
It
because
be
I don't
catching
like that.
it be catching people. It be catching them slipping. Cause it be
That
sitting all
don't
like,
make
look,
no sense.
I be to the
Oh
red
my
light and I just
god.
be looking. I be to the red light. I be looking in the car next to me. Boy, they be going digging for
Oh
gold.
yeah,
They be
they
going
come in
all in there looking.
and
I'm
be
just me looking.
and be ready to shake your hand. You better go wash them hands.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look, talking
So
about high
honestly,
five, buddy.
man,
No, no. You
that make
miss
me laugh,
elbow.
bro. When I That's it. That's it. I
That's
don't even
too
want to do
much.
that. Just peace be with you. Peace. That peace.
That
But
virtual
just
hug.
catching people slipping, bro. Just catching them slipping, and just watching, just looking, being observant, bro. That be the most hilarious moments with me.
That's virtual. So let's go deeper and let's reflect back to how you shared your story on social media about your transition, leaving out of working offshore. And was really, really in tune with that story because you mentioned how.
Hmm.
So just for y'all that's watching, not only Sean does a lot of stuff as Uncle Luck, but as Sean, he does a lot of professional things. And one of the things he does is
Hmm.
inspection services. So y'all can stop
Hmm.
buying those broke down houses and let that man inspect y'all house. Let that man inspect y'all
Exactly.
house. So you mentioned about that journey and you shared it on social media. So I just want to take a moment and just revisit it. I feel that
Okay.
right now we're in an age where folks get so caught up, and don't get me wrong, please, y'all don't even try to come at me sideways. There's nothing wrong with working in corporate America. By all means
Hmm.
necessary. Though some people
Hmm.
it's just meant for you to work with your gifts and your talents as an entrepreneur. Let's revisit
Hmm.
that moment, how that transition happened.
Man, so I was an engineer offshore. I worked my way from the bottom to the top. I ended up quitting college. I was on academic probation.
Okay.
I was always in the keg, so I was on
Come on.
academic
Turn
probation.
up with
So
that curriculum,
I was
bro.
on suspension. I
Yeah.
was on suspension, so I had to go work to try to pay for the following semester. Now this was like around my junior year of college.
Yeah.
So I took the summer off to go work offshore to be able to pay because I couldn't get no more financial aid. Like I
Okay.
was tapped.
Mm-hmm.
Got a job offshore and I ended up working the summer and they started me off at 48,000 a year. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, this is pretty good money
Yeah.
considering AT&T had me at 20 something.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I'm making decent money. I got me a little apartment. I had me a little car note. I got me a little
Okay.
apartment. I was all right.
Yeah.
And then fall semester came, and I ended up getting a raise to 60,000
Okay.
after the summer. So I'm like, oh man, I'm at 60,000 a year, and
Yeah.
I'm 21, 22 years old. So I'm like, let me kind of hold on to this a little bit because I didn't want to quit this to go back because I had the bills.
Right.
So I'm like, man. So I'm like, well, I can always go back to school online. So I stayed working offshore,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew from the bottom to the top, man. Where at the age of 28, I was making 180,000 a year as an
Wow, that's
engineer, as a
good.
lead engineer for Baker Hughes,
Okay.
and started working overseas and doing some overseas work, man, and ended up moving up the ladder to being lead, man, and making 200,000 a year. And it got to a point where I was gone so much. I wasn't focused on what was going on at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got married. I had my first child, but I was so focused on money. I was
Right.
getting money, getting money, getting money, but I was losing my marriage because I
Right.
would come home for a couple of days and I'm back to work and I'm like, what's wrong with you? She like, you're never home. Like,
Right.
what you mean? But look what we got. We got this. You know, we could
Yeah.
afford this. Like that's not what I'm with you for. I'm not with you for the money, you know. And my son had a better relationship with my father-in-law than with me. So I
Wow.
would come home and he'd be looking like, "Who are you?" You know,
Yeah.
and then he'd run to my father-in-law like, "Pop," you know, and I'm like, "I'm your daddy. What you mean, Pop? Like, hey, this daddy." And it bothered me, man, because what man don't want their son, and that's my firstborn child, to
Right.
be close with you, So it just, when I go offshore and I'm watching videos of him, I'm looking at pictures of him, and I started realizing, man, I'm not happy. I
Mm-hmm.
got demoted. I got demoted from my engineering position to do something I hated to do, but
Damn.
they kept my salary.
Okay.
They kept my salary. And they say, well, to keep you from getting laid off, we gonna put you here. But I'm shoveling up stuff off the deck, man. I'm really laboring. So I'm going from my office back outside to sweating in the hot sun, man. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
nah, I don't want to do this. Like,
Oof.
when can I get back in my position?
Right.
They
Right.
like, well, we don't know. So they hiring new engineers, new guys. I straight out of college in this position, and I've been doing this for years. So I'm like, when I'm gonna get? Well, we don't know when you're gonna get back in it. You better just be happy you got a job. That's kind of how they
Oh
was talking to
snap.
me. Like, you making all this money. You better be happy you got a job. People your color don't make this kind of money. I was told that.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
you
Okay.
know, yeah. I done been called a nigger. I've been called all kind of things offshore. Dealt with a lot of company men that was racist.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot, and it started to bother me because racism is not dead. We still
It's
deal
not.
with it, especially
Right.
higher up the totem pole in the
Mm-hmm.
corporate world.
Right.
Um, so man, it bothered me, man. So we took a pay cut. I took a $70,000 pay cut,
Jeez.
and I'm like, man, this is just not working. Like, I'm struggling. Like this. I'm not working out here for pennies. So I looked up into the home inspection thing, real estate,
Mm-hmm.
and came across the home inspection course. I
Right.
said, well, you know what? On my days off, I could do this to make extra money. So I ended up jumping into it, and everybody thought I was crazy. I'm studying. I have the books offshore. I'm studying, and they like, what you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What you studying for? Home inspector. They don't make no money. You gonna leave the off field to do that? Man. And it was crazy. It was crazy where I ended up getting enough of the crap, and I had a plan.
Yeah.
I had bunions on my feet. So
Oh.
you got. I had bunions on both of
Them
my feet. So I
bunions.
said, you know what? I gotta go fix this. I said, while I got insurance, let me go get them bunions fixed. So I don't have surgery. I had surgery, Corey. So after 2 weeks, the doctor was like, look, you can go back to work. I'm like, doc, I don't want to go back to work because I'm getting paid more on my disability than I was getting offshore.
Wow.
So I'm like, can I stay out for 6 months? He's like, well, you sure? I'm like, yeah. So I did 6 months off. The 6 months I was going, I built my inspection business. I was marketing, going around, handling business cards and building the inspection business. And it got to the point where I got busy with home inspection.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm getting my disability from Baker Hughes, and I'm making money. So look, I'm doing good. Well, I got to a point where I had to make a decision. Okay, it's time for you to go back to work. You
Mm-hmm.
built this business. What you gonna do?
Right.
Hey, I couldn't sleep for nights because leading up to me going back to work, I'm like, I can't do both because I'm gonna lose all my clientele with these realtors if I go back offshore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Definitely.
then if I quit offshore, I'm gonna lose my package.
Yeah.
Like if I wouldn't get a severance package, I'll just quit and would not. I wouldn't have like no layoff plan. So ended up going back to work, man. And the first day I went back, they called me in the office and they laid me off. And I'm looking up like,
Wow.
God, this is a sign. And I
Wow.
was excited. And people like, you happy you're getting laid off? I'm yes, this is a sign.
Yeah.
So I took it. Took it and ran with it, got my severance package, got my, all my unemployment and grew the inspection business, man. And it just was a big transition. People thought I was crazy. Then they called me to offer my job back and I told them no.
You don't
He's
want
like,
that.
you're not going back? You're not going, what you mean you're not going back?
Right.
Some of my family members, they're like, you're crazy. You're not going back offshore? So that was my jump move. And it wasn't easy. It
Yeah.
wasn't easy, man. It was tough. But I'm glad I made that decision to not stick with what I was used to, but to tap into the unknown. Because
Right.
everybody told me that was a home inspector that I would not make what I made offshore. They told me, like, how much you? Oh no, you're not gonna make that. And there wasn't anybody black in the home inspection business. There was none. So I'm the first. I'm me and Marcus Minix, my homeboy. We the first two
Come on.
in the same class,
Come on.
and they like it's gonna be hard for y'all in this industry because people are not gonna use y'all because
Yes.
the realtors are so used to using who they use. And man, I just prayed about it and say, man, look, the God I serve can do anything.
That's it.
And since then, my company has been the top company in the area. Bernard's Inspection Services. So, you know, you got to take that jump. Steve Harvey told me, and as I listened to my brother, Steve Harvey always said, because we had a good relationship with him,
Hmm.
you got to jump.
You got
You
to.
got to jump.
You got to. It's
If you don't believe in you, how you want other people to believe in you if you don't believe in you?
that's true. That's so true
You
because you
know,
had to believe in yourself in order for you to leave away from what you was familiar with. There's a lot of times
yes,
folks don't touch the unfamiliar because
yep,
they don't want to be uncomfortable. But it's when you come out of those comfort zones, once
yes,
that little crack in that door open, that's a wrap cuz you want to try everything. You know,
everything.
and it's like it goes from avenue to avenue to, oh, I want to try this, I want to help this person, I want to work with this person, all of that.
Hmm.
That's how it rolls. So I want to go
Yeah,
even I want to go even further with that. So from there, time has gone by. You've started more avenues, more different opportunities. How does it
yeah,
feel to literally go from having just this one professional brand that you're doing to now having this entire being, literally to me, with Uncle Luck? Like, how does it feel to
yeah.
collaborate all that once you thought that I'm this little small town boy from the hood that's not doing nothing, and now I'm doing good, but I'm still
Mm-hmm.
concerned about others that's trying to get from there to here. So
Hmm.
let let's talk about that. Like, how does it feel to be on the upside rather than the downside of what was once a dream for you?
So, everything happens for a reason. I remember when Cupid got his record deal. For y'all that don't know, Cupid is my brother. I remember getting a record deal with him and traveling the world, going all over the place, and had ego that was set in my mind, an
Mm,
ego where, hey, I'm Cupid, brother. We making money. Y'all can't tell
yeah.
me nothing. But then I fell into a place of not having my own identity because I was always
Mm,
identified as Cupid's brother. Oh,
got
that's
you.
Cupid brother. That's Cupid. Like, who? I got a name.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it was great. It was great. It was great until we went on a promotional tour, and on the promotional tour, it wasn't paid.
Mm,
So a lot of the money that we had, I was blowing it because I didn't know how to save money.
yeah.
So the promotional tour wasn't paid. So I started using a lot of credit cards, and a lot of things got charged off financially, and credit got bad. Things like that. And man, it was like, man, no, this is not it. It's not it. So God humbled me, man, and say, look, you need to humble yourself. I got something in store for you, but you got to believe in you first. And I just was always scared to just take it a shot. I knew I could sing because I sung background, but I never, I was always scared to take the lead because I was worried about what people would think.
Got
Oh, he trying to be like his brother, all this, all that. Until my brother was like, bro, you got so much potential. Why are you sitting up here just, in the shadows?
you.
It's time
Hmm.
for you to shine. And I'm like, having that motivation from my camp, I went out there and just did it. So I started, just putting me first, going on Facebook, social media, doing what I enjoyed doing on the road anyway, but
Yeah.
just putting it on a bigger scale. And from there, it just kind of grew and blew up from there, man. And I'm glad I went through the experience with the music industry because it humbled me and prepared me for the limelight now. So now, man, I seen money. I seen people lose. I seen people commit suicide that was rich. I
Wow.
seen so much in the music industry that I can write a whole movie about
Wow.
everything I've experienced. But that experience is what I needed to be Uncle Luck. Now I can travel the world and have a humble mindset, take pictures with people, and tell them the transparency of my life versus acting like I got it all and I'm untouchable. You
Right.
know, um, the biggest struggle is balance. And one thing that Cupid always tell me is like, bro, you got so much going on, but remember, balance is key. And I've learned that even as an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur,
Yeah.
you have to have balance. Money's great, but time is what you can't buy more of.
Right. Right.
Right. So as Uncle Luck with multiple hats, multiple things I've tried at doing and things I realized wasn't for me. Um, I always say, God, thank you for this, and you're gonna give me the energy to do it. And
Mhm.
I want to help as many people as I can to realize that they got gifts that can provide for them. Even though you have a job, multiple streams of income is key.
Right.
So I'm not saying leave corporate America. I'm saying that God created you for a reason.
Yeah.
When you find that reason of why He created you, then you start really living your life. Because a lot of
Exactly.
times we exist working for people because
Hmm.
you ain't never gonna own the company, or if you do, it's to come with another level of stress.
Right.
But when you operating in something that you enjoy doing every morning, every day you wake up, now you're starting to live. You're not existing anymore. You're operating in your why, in your purpose, your calling, and that is fulfillment in itself, and that's success in itself. It's not about money, riches, millions, the Bentley, Bugattis. It's not about that. Give me
Right.
the Honda Accord that's paid for. Let me have me some ham in there,
Come
and
on.
me do what I do, enjoy, do every morning.
Come
Man,
on.
you can't give me $1 million to give that up.
See?
You couldn't give it to me.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what I find a lot of people really don't take heed to is that being
Hmm.
rich and being wealthy are two separate things. People think that is the exact same thing. It's not. Rich, you focus on money. Straight up, you
Hmm.
focus on money.
Hmm.
Whereas wealthy, you have the money, the more so you have the peace and the freedom to do whatever you want with your
Hmm.
money. And then overall, you have time to do whatever you want to do without
Hmm.
crunching when to make time for what. You making your own schedule. You doing your own
Yeah.
thing. What people are taking a whole week to do, you doing in one day. You may be doing it in 2 hours, 1 hour. So
Hmm.
it makes a difference. And
An addiction, people get addicted. Money can become an addiction.
yeah,
And when you become an addiction to it, you become captivated, you become a prisoner to it, you become a slave to it
right.
because you don't know that you want more and more and more and more and more to where your life pass you by and you never live. So I've learned from a lot of rich people who learned wealthy people. Let me say that
Yeah,
balance is key.
yeah,
Sometimes you got to say, no, I'm not going to get it back. I need a rest. No, I'm
yeah,
not going here because my children need me more.
yeah,
I see my brother do it all the time. Pass up 20, $30,000
yeah.
to be at his son's basketball game. I'm like, bro, you're not going on that tour internationally? Nah, man. Christian got AAU all week,
Right.
and I'm not missing them games. So he passing up hundreds of thousands of dollars to be there, and it's inspiring. And Corey, I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason why I'm so successful is because of my circle. It's not just me by myself. It's the people that believe in me and push me. My brother, Mr. Fat, Chuck, Jeremy, Yogi, everybody that was in the camp, our wives, and everybody support. And when you don't feel like it, they're like, "Come on, bro, you got it."
Yeah.
So I tell people, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need a new circle.
Come on. Come on.
Right? If we sitting up there, sitting in your circle, and all y'all doing is talking about women, talking about them hoes and this, that, the other. Look,
It's
look. At a
pointless.
certain point in your life, when you listen, hitting 40, cause that's not the topic of discussion. Talking about the
No,
females.
not at
I'm
all.
talking about retirement. I'm talking about residual
Exactly.
income, multiple. I ain't got time to talk about no Kawenkas. I'm sorry, you can keep that. I got two children and a
Let's
wife.
let's
You
talk
can keep
about
that.
sports. Yeah, it's pointless, and I'm glad that's another thing
Yep.
that is very important. Folks don't realize how important it is to have the right circle because you just laying
Bruh.
there stagnant. You're not growing. If y'all literally sitting under the carport every single week talking about the same thing over and over and nobody growing, how y'all? And I'm not gonna stunt. I've been watching y'all. I see y'all together, so I definitely could testify on how y'all ensure to keep each other solid. Which brings me to my
Yeah.
next question. What advice do you have for people that want to get out of their stagnant circles into an active circle? Because just cutting people is not an easy thing. It's not.
You gotta understand that loyalty don't exist in friendships.
It don't.
We loyal to people that's toxic. So loyalty don't exist in a friendship. I'm loyal to my children. I'm not loyal to nobody else. So
Right.
what I'm telling you that to say is that if Corey decides to go in another direction and we ain't vibing on the same type of energy, Corey, I'm sorry, my boy, I'm gonna love you from a distance, but we
Mhm.
can't be in the same circle because you're not following the path that I'm going on.
Right.
So you got to realize that your life is like a monopoly game in a sense. You're gonna go. You're
Mhm.
going a certain direction. I'm not trying to backtrack.
Right.
If you're not lining up with direction that I'm going, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't. So, and people, the reason why it's so hard to cut ties is because they more loyal to a person than themselves.
That's true.
Sometimes you love somebody else more than yourself. A toxic relationship. You can be with a man or a woman or however, whatever you want to be with, and it's not motivating. It's depressing. It's sad. Then why are you staying there? So, it's hard. It ain't easy, but you gotta love you enough to separate yourself from negative energy.
And that's key because one of the things that I've been on is my mantra. Because I turned 40 last year, and I'm 41 now. Yeah, I'm
Looking like you're
41,
about 20
y'all.
something, boy.
I'm
Look
41.
like you're
I'm
about 20
41.
something.
I'm not 24. I look like it. Thank the Lord, the fountain of youth.
Got them good
That's
genes.
all the Lord. That's all the Lord. All the Lord. All the Lord. Yeah, so I'm 41. So last year for my 40th birthday, the divine revelation that I got was for me to embrace my work. And a lot of times we tend to not embrace our work because we feel that we're less than, we're
Yeah.
inadequate, we don't amount to everybody else. And if you look, just like for social media, for example, if you constantly looking at what people posting, let me tell y'all something, and I know y'all watching. Some people be straight up stunting. Like they can
Oh
post
yeah.
all that illustrious stuff, and then it don't even be all of that. They be miserable as I don't know what. But then there are some that really do post the truth, and that's really what's going on. But saying all to say, knowing your worth is very, very important, and especially for us men, it's important
Yeah.
because a lot of times we tend to
Yes.
want to suppress our emotions. We don't want to identify how much we love ourselves, and
Hmm.
I'm bringing that in because the key question that I have for you is, what makes Shawn know that Shawn loves Shawn?
And every day I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is thank God for another day, another opportunity. I go look in that mirror when I'm brushing my teeth, because I brush my teeth twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. But
Okay,
in the morning, I go brush them teeth. I look in that mirror and say, "Man, you doing it. You are somebody." I talk to myself in the mirror. I talk to God all day long, but that tells me, look, man, you're operating in your calling. You at your energy. So let's keep it moving. It's another day. We can't change yesterday. I listen. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best husband, the best father. I'm not the best business owner. I just strive to be the best that I was yesterday. Be better than I was yesterday. So
that's
every morning, I just strive to be better than I was yesterday. Tell myself I love myself. I gain weight. I lose weight. I gain. I get fat. I get skinny. Hey, that's life,
That's
right?
life.
That's
It's
life. So
adjustments.
I
Yeah.
understand that life is inconsistent. So sometimes your body, your weight. So insecurities set into some people, and it holds them hostage. So it's to break that barrier of insecurity and love yourself through your faults and your flaws and keep pushing. And one thing that I've learned, I don't gravitate to what people say I can't do. I
Hmm.
don't gravitate to people that don't like me.
Right.
I gravitate to people that support me.
Yeah.
I don't worry about the ones who don't, because why waste time on the ones who don't?
Yeah. They
I only
behind you.
focus on people who do,
Right.
and that's it.
That's
That's
very
it.
important.
And I think that anybody that's just striving to do something understands people are not gonna like what you do, and
Right.
that's okay. You need people not to like what you do,
Yeah.
because if everybody like what you do, that'd be no, no, no. You need that opposite in, but you let that be your motivation to keep pushing.
That's the truth. That's so true. So, Sean, I also want to go in depth with one of the things that I dealt with growing up with my career. Because, I started with Spoken Red and now I got this new brand,
Hmm.
to be frank. And a lot of folks hit me with the question, why are you still in Louisiana? Like, why you not doing your gifts and talents everywhere else? And I take the time and reflect on, your brother, for example, for Cupid. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Cupid has traveled both nationally and internationally. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Once again, still here showing folks love. Here it comes to you.
Yeah,
Same thing. Never, Mr. Fat. I could go down the list. Roy Chip Anthony.
yeah,
It's a number of individuals that they could literally be in any major city, LA, Atlanta, New York, doing what we do now, but we choose to do Louisiana. There's somebody that's viewing this right now that I'm sure that's like, man, I love my state. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. But should I make that move or should I really stay where I'm at and still make moves? Because a lot of people
yes.
think you have to move in order to make moves. But in actuality, you can literally just be where you're at and make moves versus a move.
Bigger cities have more competition.
Correct.
So a lot of times you move to a bigger city, but you got that much more people doing the same thing that you're doing. So it's hard for you to make your brand or your staple. Another thing is that if your work ethic sucks in Louisiana, Your work ethic gonna suck in Houston,
everywhere.
Atlanta. If you're
Exactly.
lazy, you're lazy.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily where you live, because I know people that's broke that's stuck in Houston and everywhere else. The cost of living sometimes is higher in other places. So
Right.
I like home because of what I like to do, my hobbies. But I've realized that you know there's ways to be successful being home and being comfortable. Now if people want to desire to be in a different state, that's all good and fine. But understand it is harder when you move because you're not from that area. So people ain't gonna respect you. They
Right.
not going, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes really say, oh, you're a native of here. So now you fighting against that and trying to learn a whole new area, new market, different demographic. Louisiana is a rich place.
Yeah.
We look at it like, nah, the reason you don't realize there's plenty of money. Trust
Yeah.
me, all field money. Louisiana is one of the richest states. We think, oh, Atlanta is here, but we just don't capitalize off of what we do, what we have here, and we just think that it's easy to go somewhere else because somebody said so or because so and so did it. And then when you move out there, you realize, oh, it is harder than I thought it would have been.
Right.
Some come back home, some struggle out there, but no, it ain't where you live. It's what you do where you're at, regardless of where you live. And now with social media, there's so much ways to tie in money, make money wherever you
Yeah.
live, the
Definitely.
internet. So, but yeah, moving is not always the key. Sometimes moving is the key. You just got to pray on it. And whatever you do, keep pushing 100%, regardless of where you stay.
Definitely. So, Sean, let me ask you this: what is something you would tell a 10-year-old Sean Bernard right now? Where you at right now?
Listen,
What would you tell that 10? Now, there may be somebody that's watching that's a 10-year-old
mhm.
Sean Bernard, but what would you tell that 10-year-old Sean Bernard?
Listen to people that's doing what you desire to do in life. Listen. A lot of times we think we got the answers when we're young. Oh, you can't tell me that. I seen this on YouTube. Like my son. My son 9. Oh, dad, but on YouTube this. I said, but dad, I seen this. I'm like, son, listen, you're gonna have a lesson to learn. Because everything on YouTube is videos, is edited, son.
Right.
Listen to somebody who's actually been through it. I think that if we listened more, instead of thinking we knew it all, that would save us a lot of heartaches and some hard asses. We would
Yeah.
learn. So if I could tell anybody that's 10 is go around older people, get as much as you can get from them while they're here, because come a time they're not going to be here. And there's so much I wish I would have got from my grandmother, my grandfather, things that I would have learned and got from them versus thinking, oh, we got the internet. But
Yeah.
when the internet down, when your oven break,
You don't know
what
nothing.
you gonna fix?
Huh.
You ain't got a microwave. What you gonna do? How you gonna warm your food? You
Mm-mm.
sitting up there hungry. So
Starving. Don't know what to
you
do.
know
Looking at the noodle box. What that do? How that work?
Well, how can I? You know what I'm saying? Look me, I done lit a fire outside on some wood. I got the pot on some wood
You
outside. I'm,
ready?
I'm cooking.
You
The
ready?
average man, what we gonna do? Oh man, I know how to. So I think that that's if any advice I can give people, and not just 10-year-old. While your grandma and your papa and your older people still here, go sit with them, drink coffee,
Yeah.
get as much as you can get from them while they're here, because those lessons that they're gonna give you is gonna really show you how to survive.
That's true.
Show you. Tell you something. When COVID happened, let me tell you something. Everybody was asking me for Mongolier tea.
Hmm.
Mongolier, man, what's good for this? Man, what you know what?
We
Because
grew up
old
on
people
that.
knew.
We grew up on that, and
We grew up on
and
it.
just like you saying, like Louisiana is rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are rich in culture. We really are,
Yep.
right? And we're wealthy in it. There's a lot of wealth. And when you take the time and listen to those history lessons, you will learn a lot about your family. So I got one more question, and then we're gonna wrap up this episode. How does it feel to be a family man at this age?
Man, listen.
Married, kids. Your family is all, you have a brother and a sister, both entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does it feel to be Sean, the family man, right now? What is that like? Because I know at one
Man, it's
time,
the
like you mentioned, it used to be solo Sean, Mr.
I was wide
Solo
open.
Man.
Was wide open, Corey. I was wide open, Corey. Hey, look wide open. Look, I playing piano serenading in there, girl. Look singing.
And singing,
Look
and
wide
singing,
open.
and singing. That was that '90s R&B, '90s.
What? What? Boy, you understand?
Okay, so
Man, to be honest with you, bro, it's the best feeling in the world.
yeah,
I don't understand how men can be deadbeat dads. Every day I wake up, I'm looking for them. I'm tucking them in. I want to kiss them goodnight. And I understand some men can say, oh, I never had a dad. Well, that should inspire you to be a better one if
yeah.
you didn't have one. But it's not easy.
Hmm.
It's not easy all the time. Marriage is hard. Hard. I'm not gonna pretend it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't give a care. Oh, it's my soulmate. Y'all gonna fuss because you're
Yeah.
in somebody else's space. It's gonna happen. But
It's
it's just
communication.
yeah. That's number one, Corey. That is number
Communication.
one. Communication and understanding that you gotta apologize. You ain't right all the time. You
Yeah.
ain't right all the time.
Don't
I
go to bed
apologize to my
mad.
children sometimes because how I you might have yelled at them, and some daddy didn't mean to yell at you, but I know you can do better. It's breaking those generational curses, and
Yes.
just understanding that, man, tomorrow they're gonna be graduating in college, and life happens so fast. So I try to catch as much moments, videos, photos of my kids every much as much as I can because I know eventually that's all I'm gonna have is a memory to look back on.
Right.
you know um I encourage anybody, if you're in a relationship and it's toxic, man, get out of that. If we had our times where we had to go to counseling, and I'm not too ashamed to say that, like, I had to go
Nothing
to
wrong with
counseling
that. There's nothing wrong with that.
because
Hmm.
I thought I had all the answers, and I was
Yeah.
wrong. I was wrong as a man, and most marriage problems happens because of the men. Most marriage problems happen because of us. We too cocky, our ego. We don't want to change our bad ways. We thinking that the money is all we got to do.
Yeah.
We don't want to communicate. It's always the highway, and she better be happy with me. And a lot of time we don't self-evaluate us and realize that we the cause of destruction. So real talk. Like even with our children, as men, black men, we try to teach our children to be tough. Don't cry,
Yeah.
so they grew up with an emotional barrier, not knowing how to communicate. So
Yeah.
I'm like, son, how you feeling? Daddy whipped you, but what's going on? Why did you
Yeah.
do X,
Like
Y, and Z?
really,
Talk to me.
how you really feeling? Yeah. That's
How you
key.
really felt?
That's key.
Yeah, what's going on? Tell me. So, and I think that every day I'm learning to be a better dad. Every day I'm learning to be a better husband, and try to be, read material, books.
Right.
Five love languages is one of the biggest things that help save my marriage. So, trying to reflect on them things that help, in those trying times. But man, listen, I love kids. I love mine. I love other people cheering.
Yeah.
Seeing kids just reach the next level, man, and doing something that they enjoy doing, man, I love that.
Yeah. So Sean, let me ask you this: what does Sean do for self care? I mean, you carrying all these hats, you gotta have some day just for yourself. So what does Sean do for self care?
You see what's on
I
my
Yeah, I
wall?
see that. Ah, Lord have mercy.
So man, honestly, man, listen, I love to hunt and I love to fish.
Mhm.
Being on my boat is my serenity. Being in my deer stand is my serenity. My kids come with me.
Yeah,
Sometimes my wife come with me. Being on a boat, fishing and hunting and things like that. I enjoy that, man. And then just sitting on the patio,
yeah,
drinking some coffee. Just meditating, looking at the birds, looking at nature. We take for granted the things that God put here, but sometimes, man, just looking at that little bird will give you confirmation.
definitely.
Tapping into that energy with the universe. I'm telling you, it's powerful. People take it for granted, but sometimes you need to separate yourself from the cell phone, put it down.
Yeah,
Go sit outside and just let God talk to you through nature. And sometimes, but you'll get a lesson that you never thought possible. So that's how I unwind, man. I try to just put things down because I know my phone always in my hand,
yeah,
and my wife got to tell me, bro, when you gonna put your phone down?
right.
Because I'm always doing content, but sometimes I got to put it down and focus on what really
What's
matters.
going on? Yeah, and I'm
Hmm.
glad you mentioned that because it's like a lot of times people don't take that those fueling moments. Those fueling moments are very important. When you then give to everybody else, you have to refuel. You really do. And you have to do a lot of times people hear self-care and the first thing they think about is, oh, I gotta go to the spa. No, self-care is actually doing the things that you enjoy. Literally, is your
Hey,
favorite
I ain't
thing.
gonna lie. I'm gonna give you a secret. Me and my wife take turns. She go take a bath for about an hour soaking in the tub, and then I go sit in the tub. I put me some of them eucalyptus spearmint, the Beer Bath and Beyond stuff she got.
Listen.
She fuss at me all the
Oh,
time.
that's some
You
good
using all
stuff.
my soap? Boy, I'll be putting me some bubble bath in there, the bed balm. Look, I go
That's
soak.
some good stuff,
I go
bro.
soak, and I sit back in that tub,
Listen.
and I just relax.
Like
Sometimes I fall asleep in there.
look,
I don't even remember if I washed me or not. I'm like, oh, I sat in another bubble. That's good.
you better light your candle and put a timer on, shucks. Put your little
Okay,
playlist.
Okay, but hey man, listen. I look forward to soaking, bro. Soaking.
Yeah.
Some men like, man, I took a shower. Yeah, take a shower, good. But I like to soak. I like to soak.
Hmm.
But me a little milk bad, man. Nothing wrong with that. And just
Yeah.
relax. You
You
know,
gotta
yeah, man,
exfoliate. You
yeah.
gotta rejuvenate that skin. Them pores all tore
I mean,
up.
yeah.
You just hit all that hot
Then
water
women don't
on
want
you. Come
little.
on now.
Then women don't want that little hard skin rubbing on them, but they want you to go
Okay.
have some soft skin.
Heels all ashy, feet all tore up,
Oh
arm white.
yeah,
Oh
you
man,
know,
go ahead on. Ain't put no lotion on
little
no
hard
more.
feet, nothing. Ashy, ashy.
So Sean, those that are watching, we definitely got to do this. How can they keep in touch with you? How can they follow you? How can they find you? The whole 9 yards. What's the outlet? How do we keep in touch with you?
I am Uncle Luck. I am Uncle Luck on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I am Uncle Luck. Type in Uncle Luck, Google. You can
Come
go to
on,
Google,
Google it.
Uncle, not
Google it.
Uncle Luke. Google it. Not Uncle Luke. Because a lot of the older people, hey, Uncle Luke. No, I'm not
No,
Uncle Luke.
you
Don't get that
no
messed up.
no.
It's not
You're
me.
not you're not
No.
doing them
You know?
nasty videos.
No, no, it's not me. Not me. But yeah, all the media outlets you can get Uncle Luck. I do have seasoning on Amazon, Uncle Luck's Creole
Hmm.
seasoning. You can go on Amazon and order the seasoning. I have it at Benny's and Opelousas, Champagne's in Karen Crow, and in the All Center. Merchandise. You go to uncleluck.com. I have shirts, cups, koozies. I got bibs. I got onesies,
You
whatever you
got
need. You
onesies,
know,
yo.
so
Onesies. Gee,
the onesies for them
for them
cheering.
cheering.
It say who for that? Who for
You know them
that?
adults be trying to get in
you
them
know.
onesies. They know they can't fit in there and still be trying to
Oh
put that on.
Lord,
You know it's the summer. They
leave
trying to
that
they
there.
trying to have that.
That-
You know.
oh Lord, leave that there. That's too. Ooh. And that thing got no drawers on. The one to wear that.
You a
Boy,
mess. You are a mess. Oh my god.
that ain't
Oh
good.
my god. Well, Sean, Uncle Luck, on behalf of the To Be Frank fam, we definitely thank you again for being on tonight's show. This was excellent. Really, really excellent.
Thank you.
Soon enough I'll gain the courage to duet one of your TikToks. You know, I'm the newcomer when it comes to with these TikToks. So baby, you be raw and with them that French you be talking in between you and K Chill and what you call it, Raven, man, y'all be having me rolling. I'm like, these suckers be
yeah,
cutting up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
yeah,
still on
yeah,
the whole
yeah, yeah.
empowerment part. I ain't got the silly side of me just yet. It's gonna come eventually.
They got another side of Corey. They got another side of Corey. You're gonna tap into the other side of Corey. Might need a couple of drinks to
Oh,
get that
they
side
gonna
of
be
Corey to
done.
come
I'm
out. But
telling you, all I gotta do is post one video and I'm gonna go viral that same night. I
that's
already know
it.
they gonna be like,
That's it.
this boy cuts up real bad, real bad,
Real
real bad.
bad. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Well, all right, y'all. Frankly speaking, it had to be said. It's your boy Corey J, and we out. Me versus me with Shawn
Thank
Bernard.
you, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.